Alrighty, now that we've finished with the starting period of the game, we can finally go in without any hand holding and finally enjoy the game a little bit. I will admit, I played for a little while, not too long to be fair. I just got into the zone. I started wondering about, noticed that no recording, shit happens. So not much was missed, and here we go. We can enjoy Dragon Age all throughout. Now this is the third game in the series, or the fourth, depending how in depth and details you want to be. The first one being Dragon Age Origins. That was a pure masterpiece that everybody obviously loves for everything that it did. That is good. But yeah, Dragon Age Origins. I'll admit I played that game too much. Way too much. I've easily completed it like about 40 times. Admittingly though, each different playthrough was played in a different way, so you know, different results, just to see every single possible thing you could potentially do. But I'll admit the story in the Dragon Age Origins was what was its most selling factor, because it was one of the first, no, it was one of the first, Baldur's Gate would be one of the first that did that kind of style when you're wandering with your allies, although you could class it up as a lot of RPGs doing that. Regardless though, Dragon Age presented its own story, its own unique world, while Baldur's Gate, or something all related to that, has been mainly stripping from the whole D&D franchise, from the Wizards of the Coast. Well, this one was the original one, the original story created from the BioWare, where they still cared. You know, that thing that they don't do anymore, caring. Nobody does that anymore, do they? Well, regardless, I'm sorry, I just need a minute. It hurts so much. You remember Dragon Age 2? Remember what they did to that? I still feel my ass hurt from what they did to that. I played for that, man. I was into it. Not into Dragon Age 2, just in Dragon Age. After playing it so extensively, you just get so into it. You know the type of story you play when you first dive into it, you're starting to feel it out. It's that gamer's instincts. Everyone has them. That is a gamer, has this instinct that you can play the game for the first few minutes and almost immediately you can tell that, yeah, refugees, whatever. You can almost immediately tell that you're not going to enjoy this. This is crap. I'm sure a lot of you had this when you just turn something on, play for 5 minutes, and we're like, nah, thanks. I'm good, homie. And the reason why I said Dragon Age series has either 4 or 3 extensions to its series is mainly due to the fact that I guess Dragon Age Awakening could be considered its own game, but within all technicalities I'm pretty sure it was a DLC, similar to the fashion that the CD Projekt Red did it with Witcher series, where they released a very extensive, a very large DLC compound to the Witcher 3 with the Blood and Wine, which pretty much almost gave you an entirely new campaign, a whole different, apart from the new zones, new quests, new items, the entirely new characters. It was presented to you in a DLC format. It wasn't some separate game like somebody Saints Row somebody did, where they took a DLC and turned it into a full feature game. And yeah, as you probably noticed, the main character, well, obviously you know, but explanation to the choice of character, Elven. I was kind of disappointed with the choices you've been presented with, even though the game advertised itself how many choices you have, comparing to Dragon Age Origins, where you chose an elf and you could have 3 different backgrounds. You could have a city elf, a Dalish elf, and a mage, depending if you chose a mage. Dragon Age Inquisition though doesn't bother with that. No, you choose an elf, you're a Dalish elf, through and through. I must be an adjuster. And yeah, this obvious Bioware. I'll admit I never liked the system, again relating to the Dragon Age Origins, where the communication system was much more better made, in my personal opinion, was because the things you have said were written out. Well, I mean, look at this. Look at this. Let's just take a watch. Pause the game. No, we can pause it. We're not in contact. But let's just look at this here. What's happening on the bottom of the screen? Nothing. It's empty. I can see my belt. I can see the add-on to my belt, which is a book hanging down. I can see some logs. Not especially needed in a conversation, but you know what's the core conversation choices we can pick? Is that why I'm here? And you must be, that's why you go. I am. And you must be the one calling the Herald of Andraste. See, what I always hated about this structure, this conversation structure, was that the choices of what you want to say are not the things you want to say. In Dragon Age Origins, the things you wanted to say were exactly listed out. You could, the whole sentence of what you were going to say was written out, and you could decide, oh, that sounds like something I want to say, you know, this seems like something I want to say. In here, listen, you're not against magic. What you said to that soldier. I didn't ask her a question. Is she against magic? The character asked, is that soldier? Why not just write what you said to that soldier? ... I don't understand the reason for this change. I mean, I do understand that that's what they did with Mass Effect, and Mass Effect sold well, so obviously Mass Effect did something good, even though Mass Effect series is, well, less than good. And yes, I know a lot of fanboys are going to be mad. How can Mass Effect series not be good? I know you can put your PP in aliens, that's fine. You know, everybody wants to go Kirk for some of those days. Sometimes you just gotta stick it in a blue lady. I mean, man, who wouldn't, right? But that doesn't excuse. There you go. That doesn't excuse ignoring the interface that you did years ago and everybody loved, and choosing the interface that people were like, meh, whatever. Sure.
That won't just make it worse. Because you are a mage. That too. Let me put it this way. You needn't join this thing. You just need some of them to
But you know, in the Dragon Age series, always overlooked
take that from me and then
the minor gameplay elements, because the story was brilliant. The story in the Dragon Age series is the most engaging story, not that I've seen, not by far. It's not the most well told story, but the world they present is extremely interesting to me from the lore perspective. From the story-wise perspective, it is well done. The world is interesting. The design overall is very engaging. The characters, they're alright, but the rules of the world are amazing. They're not complicated. They're very simple. That was the best part I always enjoyed about it, was that you could figure out the world quite easily if you just paid attention. Sadly, it does fall into the metagaming territory where you obviously know much more than your character will ever do. Even though they're the ones casting spells and doing all of that. I have no idea why they do that. They call it magic. I mean, in essence it is magic, but why things happen the way they do, I have no idea.
Corporal Vaya is coordinating the Inquisition's efforts in the area. We should speak with him.
Man, why you guys level up and I don't? Well, since some of the footage got cut, we can go over a little bit skill set I'm going with. As you know, white hair obviously means we gotta go frosty, right? The frost spec is very utility based. I mean, with the blinks, with the charged up stationary meditative state regeneration and all that, it is good. Furthermore, what I like about this system, I'll admit, this system for your character progression in Dragon Age Inquisition, in my opinion, was well done. Because say you want to be a fire mage, not a problem. You got your fire shit. You can do fire shit. You can set everything on fire if you want to. But if you want to branch out a bit, you can take those passive skills. Those passive skills also work on different skill trees. Like say this one, Winter Stillness. You stay in place and you get a massive mana regeneration boost. Obviously that's good for any of them, right? So if you want to set things on fire, you get that passive ability from the frost tree, and you can set things on fire that much quicker. There's a lot of inner pyros onion out there giggling maniacally at the prospect. I don't blame you. Setting things on fire is fun. Yeah, let's get a revival. There always has to be the guy, right? You always have to have the healing bitch. It is an RPG after all. That's why it's enjoyable for that fact that it sticks to that basic frame but still gives you something unique about it. You got your basic warriors, mages, rogues, and then you can have little, I don't want to call them subclasses because they're not a whole different type of class. I guess advanced classes, like in the Path of Exile. Say you're playing, what do they have there? Was it a mage that could change into like necromancers, and it was just like advanced class, you could pick from a couple of them. Well, that's inherently the problem I always had with mages, or like spellcasters in general, that there is a lot of fancy names. And I'm so, apart from like rule standpoint, let's get that passive. Outside from the rule standpoint, from the gameplay, it doesn't do anything. What's the difference between a wizard and a sorcerer? They both cast spells. They both wear the same gear. They do in general, they do pretty much the same thing. So what's the difference? Pretty much the name. Could be the status that people use. Or like, what are you? I'm a wizard, you know? I'm a high tier wizard. What are you? I'm an arch wizard. What's the difference? Rank. That's about it. What are you? I'm a sorcerer. So what do you do differently than I do? Nothing. Of course, in the whole D&D franchise standpoint, sorcerers have just different rules regarding the things they can do compared to wizards. Same thing. You know what always annoyed me? Witches. I never got the idea of witches. Because what's the difference between a witch? Oh. What's the difference between a witch and like a wizard? They both use spells. Okay, you could argue witches use dark magic. Well, so does a necromancer. What's the difference there? It's the whole concept is like sexist as hell. What if I want to be a male witch? Can I do that? No. Why not? Because you're a dude. Dudes can be witches. That's when all Winx fanboys. Oh, refugee hunter. What's your problem, buddy? And just eat the mages, buddy. Ram meat. Sure, let's go kill some rams. Let's just ram them in. No, I don't want to talk to you yet. It's a bit excessive. Man, I'm still getting flashbacks from the Dragon Age 2 sometimes. The amount of bare minimum effort that went into it, seriously. Shut up. The amount of non-effort that went into that series is almost painful. I mean, you'd think with the big boom of the Dragon Age Origins and then the expansion, like Dragon Age Awakening, they'd be like, you know, we got something good here. We got something good. You know, maybe we should just try a little bit harder. No. You know what we should do? You know what we should do? Bare minimum. People are gonna buy it anyway. And sadly people did. I was one of them. I bought it purely on the pretense that it was Dragon Age. And I was hoping, hey man, you know, Dragon Age, that shit is good. Second one came out. I was so hyped, man. I was so hyped. Then it just ends in betrayal like everything else. It's almost like a second Konami. You know, no. You know, I'm not gonna go into the details about Konami because we're gonna spend here an hour. I'm gonna save that rant for later though. Later on, I promise you guys, we're gonna get to the Konami fucking issue. We're gonna get to Metal Gear. And that's when I'm gonna get into the nitty gritty details of my I'm dying pain. I swear, I'm gonna be bothered by that for months. Not months. I wish I could be bothered by it for months. I'll be bothered by it for years. Oh, a lifetime. Definitely a lifetime. Oh, good dispel over there. How'd you die? How many did you eat? Okay. But is that to say that the story in Dragon Age 2 was bad? Yeah, probably. Yeah, very much so, yeah. Well, that's not fair to say. The story in Dragon Age 2 was interesting at best. Let's give it that. It was interesting. It was a bit of unorthodox, considering... Oh. Considering the fact that, you know, you were stuck to one race. If you wanted to be very lore-wise, I guess that's one of the reasons potentially one could go venture into that, you know, restriction area. Like, why won't we let players choose race anymore? It's because we want to do something much more streamlined. Is that good? Sometimes. Because with freedom of choice of characters, your main character is... Well, that's not fair to say, you know what? No, again, Dragon Age Origins just beat it on its ass, because what they did, they referred to the character from the Dragon Age Origins as the Warden. They don't say the gender, they don't say the race, they don't say what kind of conflicts you like, they just say the Warden was your title, or the Hero of Ferelden. You know, you don't need much more than that. Because what it is in medieval age, the most important thing that always gets remembered is the title. You don't remember as, oh, that's that guy that did that. No, you remember as this person or that individual that changed all that. Well, you could argue that, yeah, story, for example, story of Andraste. She's remembered for being Andraste, you know, a chick. Equivalent of Virgin Mary being taken by the Maker. That's fine. Yeah, that's entirely fine. But in a lot of stories, it's just the warrior is remembered for that, like, or this great warrior, and usually it's just assumed it's male because, you know, male warriors, right? But to be fair, it could be a female, could be whatever else you desire to be. It could not even be a person, could be like a spirit or even an animal in some cases. A lot of old folklore, a lot of old folklore tales could be read in a way where the main character of that particular story is even an animal. And in stories where an animal is portrayed as the main character, you could just change it to be a man, or and it would work because of the way it's told. Not a lot of you, but potentially quite a bit of you are probably familiar with the game. Now I forget the name, but there is this old, not that old, but it's still quite, let's say, mature aged game with the Fox Amaterasu. I think it was on Wii U, I'm not sure. I'm thinking Wii U because there was this whole painting mechanic in it. It sounds like a Wii U thing.
You have both knowledge and wisdom. You could have made it.
But in it, the story follows the wolf Amaterasu. Alright? What does the Amaterasu do? Well, he's this guardian or whatever. I'll admit I didn't play it, so I could very much be bastardizing the story. But the general gist of it that I got, that he's the Amaterasu is a type of guardian or just some being sprung into the whole thing. Well, technically it's a god. I'm pretty sure it's come from a Japanese, one of the Japanese religions. Amaterasu was a god of fire, I believe. I'm not sure, but in essence it was a god. I admit the story of what it was is kinda disappearing from me, but in essence it was a god of X. And in that particular tale you are fighting against, you know, the bad guy, the big bad demon that is infecting the world and making it hollow and making it all kinds of, you know, desolate places. And the god goes combat that. You know, as the Amaterasu, you go to combat that and return the prettiness to the world. But in that particular story, the Amaterasu is portrayed as that fox or a wolf. I'm not really sure. I want to say wolf because it was kind of big. And the foxes are not as large size-wise purely. Am I even getting XP for this? I thought I could maybe grind up some. Yeah, let's kill these guys in an extremely magical fucking fashion and let's see what we get. I hope I'm getting XP for this. Yeah, I am getting XP for this. Badass. Anyway, what I was saying, Amaterasu is portrayed as a fox, but in that particular story, if you were to say Amaterasu was, let's say, a warrior guy, or like this guy with one arm, it would still work in a story sense, because you would be just like this god of whatever creation going out there to save the world from the big bad, right? Your form in particular wouldn't matter. You could be some wizard chick, but in the end you would still be Amaterasu, the guardian that goes to save the world. And that's fine, you know, you can do that. You can entirely do that and not have a set face for a character. Like with Mass Effect, I understand that they wanted to have something to put on the box cover, so of course they made the default Shepherd, which I'm still a little bit confused about, because why not just... This is gonna explode in my face, isn't it? No, no. Those will explode in my face. But you could still make... No, the fuck I was talking about. I get so confused by the magic rooms. What? But yeah, what was always annoying to me in the Mass Effect series, that you were stuck to play as a human. Because, you know, you're playing an RPG, or, well, Mass Effect is not exactly an... I can free this, can't I? Yes? No? Hello? Oh, I hit it. It's obviously covered in ice, isn't it? Fire damage. Fire damage. Fire damage. Too low. Okay, this will work. Yeah. Ice damage? Lightning damage. Nope. No, it's nothing. I thought I could open a chest using an element. Or can I dispel it? You have dispel shit, right? Yeah, you do. Yeah, I know. Dispel it. It flashed. No, it's nothing. It's just a cool chest. Whatever. But yes, Mass Effect character. I didn't like the fact you were stuck as Shepard playing as this human guy. I mean, obviously there was a bit of a fantasy style going, so you could, you know, Captain Kirk your shit all around the universe. That's fine, you know. But I would much prefer it if it was an optional thing. What if you could play as one of the alien races, you know? How cool would that be? I didn't understand the reason for the restriction. That was my main problem with the Mass Effect series. I didn't understand why you couldn't play as Asari per se. I mean, you could in the multiplayer, but it's multiplayer. It's not the main game, is it? It's just kind of... You don't do the same things in a multiplayer that you did in a campaign. There was no story to your person. You were just a soldier guy. And there wasn't even a story. It was just a multiplayer mode where you just walked around... Whoa! Where you walked around just shooting things in waves. It was just essentially horde mode. Which I'll admit, it was fun. I have no idea why, but I enjoyed... Can I close it now? Yeah. Is that a tree? Boop. No, it was on top of a tree. Well, yeah, I didn't understand the reason why you couldn't play a main character as an alien race. Because to me, that'd be pretty cool. It would give uniqueness to your character. Like, you want to be an alien guy? Sure, let's fucking do it. Why the hell not? It's a video game. It's better than real life, right? Let's get some pretending going on. It's an RPG, for fuck's sake. Let's do something different. Nah. Nah, mate. Nah. You play a human and you'd be stuck with it. That's not to say I'm a racist against... Oh, shit. That's not to say I'm a racist against humans. I like my humans. I like my story-driven humans where, like, honestly, sometimes playing a human in all those fucking encounters, playing a human in all those RPGs can sometimes be really fucking badass. Say, for instance, Batman, right? What is Batman in the end? Batman is just a guy. All he is just dude in a suit. And he fights with aliens, he fights with gods, he fights with ancient fucking magical shit, and with no particular power whatsoever. He's just being a dude that's just fucking smart as hell, not taking shit from anyone. And that's just purely badass because he just outsmarts everyone. Like, yeah, you can... Oh, what's this? You can toss a fireball my way? That's fine. I'll shoot you with my gun that I designed to fucking blow up your fireball. You know, that's so badass. But since you can't... It's just to mix it up a little bit, you know? Change up the pace. Why not play an alien? You know, why not play one of those big burly guys? I don't even know what the name was. I mean, I knew, but I don't remember. What is this? Yeah. I don't have energy barrage. Ooh, what's this? Oh, it's just a nice book. And that was mainly the reason why Dragon Age 2 was a little bit of a letdown for the people that... Why is there a skeleton in there? Necromancy. That was the letdown of the Dragon Age series, because people got used to that. Because the first Dragon Age Origins and then Awakening both allowed you to make your own character be whatever you chose it to be. You want it to be dwarf chick? No problem, buddy. You can be a dwarf chick. What's this? Oh no. Oh. What's this? You want to be a fucking whatever? I don't know. No, you couldn't be any of the bad races. Fine, the choice was still 3 races, but it was more than one, right? Go away. Why you gotta be that way, man? Just stay a popsicle. But I understand the reason, honestly. If you could choose... I understand the reason. You know what the reason was why you were stuck as a human in Dragon Age 2? Is because they didn't want to put in the effort. Because if you chose to be an elf, they couldn't include the mommy and family fucking issues. And that would suck. Because now you... Oh, okay, look at this asshole, right? Because they had to be sitting there before they released the thing. Without even thinking about the thing. And they're like, alright boys, what are we gonna do? Well, we could just, Dragon Age 2, right? What are we gonna do, boys? What are we gonna do? Like, oh, sir, how about we make, some fun new thing, follow the example of the first Dragon Age and, maybe add on top of it. Nah, sounds boring. Let's put that shit in a single city. Ah, fucking trees. Yeah, let's put that shit in a single city. They're gonna fucking love that, aren't they? No, nobody did. Because the first one, you could travel around this whole fucking... No, not whole. You were restricted where you could go, but you still could have gone further where you've gone before. In the fucking second one, you were stuck in a city. You could go outside the city. Fucking big whoop, right? No, man. Oh, you fucker, don't push me into the fire. Something so cool. I don't even mind that reflecting my shots. It looks so badass. But yeah, the reason why I didn't do it, because effort. Because the fucking Timmy decides he wants to play an elf, and now the whole family of humans is scrapped and they have to make a new family of elves. Because Timmy can't be fucking satisfied with being a human. So they just took away the choice. Imagine, cause that's the problem I had with Dragon Age. It could have been Dragon Age 2. It could have been really good. It could have been amazing even, I dare to say. It could have been outstandingly amazing. Even with the restrictions of where you could go, being stuck in a city, that's fine, it's fucking shit, to be fair. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like that. But it could have been good, man. It could have been good. But they didn't care. Because that was the problem. The Dragon Age was so successful. It fell into the same problem that Konami fucking did with fucking Metal Gear. It was so successful, they didn't care anymore. They were like, oh, we can release anything we want. And people will still buy it. And guess what? Fucking they released Metal Gear Survive and people still fucking bought that shit. Everyone said, every single person, every single reviewer, every single person that has a little bit of a brain, knowing that the holy glorious Hideo Kojima is leaving, furthermore got kicked out of that fucking thing. The game is crap. It's made purely by Konami with no input from Kojima, so obviously there's nothing to be fucking looking forward to. Because it's not gonna be Metal Gear, but people are like, nah, I think I know why they did it. I think I know why they did it. It's because they were hoping, right? Because you just, I understand it. I could not believe it myself. Like, there's no way they would just get money grabbing and just use Metal Gear as a way to get fucking money. Oh boy, were we wrong. Well, you know what? They showed us. They showed us that no matter what you do, There's always gonna be this one asshole that just looks for a paycheck. But now, hopefully we have something to look forward to. Because the Messiah himself is making a new game now, and oh boy am I excited, you guys. I don't even know what Death Stranding is gonna be like. The hype is real. Yeah, we'll kill a little bit for you more. I really want to level up. We'll level up and then we move on from here. Just a bit of a grind. I don't know, I just went on this rant and just focus on that. Oh man, you know what? How much XP did you give? 20, 3,000 to 4,000. That's not bad. I had worse. Definitely had worse. Was that in here? Hello? The fall pieces found. What? Oh, is that the big church piece?
Here, let me try.
Fine. Go try. Why did you do that? Okay. Hello? Man. But you know what? Dragon Age did something really good. The only good addition of Dragon Age 2 was the fucking way they made... Whoa! Where'd your goop come from? The way they did this. I mean, that's just so badass. It makes you want to be a mage so you can just do this. The projectiles are useless, just shooting little balls of energy, but it's so fucking badass. Look at what? It makes mages feel like they're such a combat badasses, man. They're doing flips and shit. That kind of shit happens only in kung fu movies where they do like whoa, yeah, whoa, whoa. Oh, he's dead, son. Oh, Cassandra, you dumb broad. Hello? But I'll admit, I was quite hyped when I heard about the stories in what the story of Dragon Age Inquisition is gonna be about, because it finally touches upon the subject of the Fade, which, well played, which is quite good in this universe, because it's pretty much what separates you from the whole spirit realm. And it's quite an interesting take, because not much is actually doing that. The thing that separates the mortal realm, which we're in technically now, from the spirit one is this almost like paper thin, well, not paper thin, more like leather thin piece of a veil, they call it. It's like to refer to what is in game. It's the veil that separates the human world from the spirit world. The creation of the veil is, as far as I'm aware anyway, the creation of the veil is still unknown as to what the... What are you doing there, buddy? You doing magic? You doing magic? This is magic, motherfucker. Man, there's just something so amazing about this lightning. I love it. It really makes you feel like a badass, doesn't it? Oh, ow. Swing on me. Nope. But yeah, the creation of the veil is still, as far as I'm... Well, it's theorized, alright? I know a theory. I believe it was introduced in game, not in other books, but in-game theory as to why the veil was created was because of the big massive maker just, you know, felt like doing it to separate the bad jujus from the spirit ones, so he made a veil. Obviously the whole maker is just, I don't know, that was always my take on it, but that's just mainly due to how Christianity is going about it. Because the whole faith of the chantry, I mean, by basic name you can almost tell it was, chantry was inspired heavily by Christianity. So, you know, it borrows a lot from it. Like, I mean, the simplest fucking thing, Templars. What was the religion that had Templars? There you go. Where'd you go? Where'd you think you going? But yeah, the church... No, well, they didn't call it church. Chantry. Yeah, it's a whole... such a different name. But yeah, the whole chantry religion was essentially borrowed from Christianity, with, you know, the maker being God, the golden city being heaven, and the whole spirit world being an equivalent of hell. Because as far as I am aware, there is no hell in Dragon Age story. You just die, and well, the chantry leads you to believe. Where are you going? The chantry leads you to believe that when you die, your spirit goes to the maker in the golden city, because that's how it was designed. So, I mean, to be fair, it's a pretty cool religion, because no matter what you do, you're gonna go to heaven. I guess that's why the wars happen, right? Like this one, for example. This is the reason why people are like, yeah, it's fine. I killed some guys, but you know, I'm sorry. Maker's gonna be maybe Maker's gonna be cool about it, right? Yeah, probably. Well, yeah, the comparison between Virgin Mary and